Just when audiences think the nightmare is finally over, Scream 7 makes one last move that most viewers almost miss. The killer is unmasked, the blood has dried, the survivors are standing, and the screen fades to black. It feels complete. It feels final. But if you stay seated, if you let the credits roll just a little longer, the film quietly reveals something far more important than another Ghostface attack. For decades, the Scream franchise has followed a pattern. From the original Scream to Scream 6, the formula rarely changes. Expose the killer, survive the chaos, close the chapter. No exaggerated sequel bait. No unnecessary cliffhangers. Just survival and reflection. That's what made this series different from many modern horror franchises. So when Scream 6 experimented with a credit scene for the first time, it raised a bigger question: was the franchise evolving, or was it simply playing with audience expectations again? In Scream 7, the answer comes in the form of a mid-credit scene that doesn't scream for attention. There's no new masked figure standing in the shadows. No sudden phone call with that chilling voice. Instead, the camera focuses on something surprisingly grounded: the aftermath. As expected, the Ghostface murders dominate national headlines. News vans line the streets. Reporters scramble for statements. And at the center of it all stands someone we've trusted for years to narrate the chaos: Gale Weathers. Gale has always been more than just a reporter. She represents the franchise's bridge between tragedy and storytelling, turning horrifying events into published narratives, documentaries, and headlines. But this time, something shifts. Standing beside her is Mindy Meeks-Martin, who has slowly grown from horror-obsessed commentator into a central survivor of this new generation. In a subtle but powerful moment, Mindy asks to deliver the report herself. There's no dramatic music cue, no emotional speech, just a quiet decision. Gale steps aside. Mindy steps forward. And in that simple exchange, the franchise signals something deeper than a sequel tease. It signals transition. Mindy, who once analyzed horror rules from the sidelines, is now part of the story's legacy. She isn't just surviving the narrative anymore, she's shaping it. And that matters. Because Scream has always been meta. It doesn't just tell a horror story, it comments on horror storytelling itself. Passing the reporting torch from Gale to Mindy feels symbolic of the franchise passing creative and emotional focus from the original era to a new one. What makes this scene fascinating is what it doesn't do. It doesn't tease Scream 8 directly. It doesn't introduce a secret mastermind pulling strings from the shadows. It doesn't hint at an unfinished threat. Instead, it closes the loop in a way that feels almost reflective. It asks the audience to consider how stories evolve, how trauma becomes narrative, and how each generation redefines what horror means. Ironically, this credits scene quietly contradicts a self-aware line from Scream 6, where Mindy joked that not every movie needs a post-credits moment. And yet here, the franchise chooses to include one not for shock value, but for symbolism. The decision to place this scene in the credits rather than the main ending also feels intentional. It rewards patience. It separates casual viewers from dedicated fans. And in doing so, it mirrors the franchise's relationship with its audience. Those who truly understand Scream know it's never just about the mask. It's about commentary, legacy, and evolution. By allowing Mindy to deliver the final report, the film subtly asks whether she might become the emotional anchor moving forward. If Scream 8 happens, will the spotlight shift completely? Will the franchise lean fully into the new generation? Or is this simply a respectful nod to continuity without committing to a dramatic overhaul? There's also a deeper thematic layer here. Gale has spent years profiting from Ghostface violence, transforming tragedy into career-defining stories. Mindy, on the other hand, has lived through it while understanding its cinematic structure. When she steps in front of the camera, it represents a merging of survivor and storyteller. She isn't exploiting the narrative, she's owning it. And in a franchise built on deconstructing horror tropes, that feels like the most fitting evolution possible. Ultimately, the mid-credits scene in Scream 7 doesn't aim to shock, it aims to reflect. It suggests that horror doesn't just end when the killer falls. The real aftermath is how stories are told, who tells them, and why they matter. And maybe that's the quiet brilliance of this ending. Instead of teasing another masked figure waiting in the dark, the film places its future in plain sight, not behind a knife, but behind a camera. The question now isn't whether Ghostface will return. The question is who will control the narrative when he does. And in true Scream fashion, the answer may already be standing under the spotlight, ready to tell the story.